I've been thinking about how the entire story of Naruto, everything that happened in the series, up until the point where the fourth great ninja war happened, how almost a lot of it could have been avoided. Now, the war, maybe not, but everything else that it might have been avoided if just one thing happened. Now, as we know, Hashirama Senju was the first Hokage, and he was the leader of the village. He founded the village alongside Madara, and then later on, Madara left, and then they fought, and all that happened. And that was, well, I don't think that really impacted the village that much. But what it probably impacted the village was the fact that Tobirama, Hashirama's brother, became the second Hokage. Now, we don't know the exact time difference between Hashirama being the leader and Tobirama when it all happened. But I'm assuming that Tobirama became the leader of the village relatively quickly, around 10 or 15 years after the village was founded. So Hashirama was the leader for that period of time. Now, why did that happen? We don't know. We're guessing that maybe Hashirama died before that because of some illness or something. I mean, I don't see anyone being able to beat him in a fight, and if it did happen, we would have known about it. So I'm guessing it's probably something like that that happened to him. But if Hashirama didn't was around and there was nothing wrong with them, then I don't think Tobirama would have been the second Hokage, because as long as Hashirama's around, there's really no one comparable to him as a leader for the village. So Tobirama, even if Hashirama wanted to make Tobirama the second Hokage, I don't think it would have happened. I don't think the people would have liked that much. And in which case, Hashirama would have been the Hokage up until the point where, well, probably till he was old and he felt like it was time to hand it over to someone else. And I'm guessing that maybe Hashirama, in order to honor Madara, his friend, he would have wanted to make an Uchiha the second Hokage. Now, Tobirama wouldn't approve of that. He would have a problem with that. But there was one Uchiha that Tobirama might have been okay with. And it was mentioned somewhat in a flashback of sorts. And I hope I'm not wrong about the name, but I think it was Kagame Uchiha. Now, he was a subordinate of Tobirama's along with Hiruzen, Danzo, and the rest of them. So he was in their age group of sorts. That's what I think. And I'm guessing that Hashirama would try to make Kagame the next Hokage. And he would have been the one Uchiha that Tobirama wouldn't have refused and would accept it. In which case, after Hashirama's long reign as the Hokage, then Kagame would have become the Hokage at whatever age. And then he would, well, what happens after that, we can't be sure, but if Hashirama's the Hokage for such a long period, I'm assuming that there might have not been so many wars or conflicts or anything, just because of Hashirama's strength and how he could easily probably defeat an entire army if we were serious about it. So, yeah, Kagame would have become the Hokage, and at that point, there probably wouldn't have been too many issues. And then he would have reigned until the point where Hiruzen, around the same point, or maybe, yeah, probably around the same point where Hiruzen decided to make Minato Hokage in the actual story. Now, at that point, well, Tobirama mentioned that Kagame Uchiha was a really different kind of person, and as we know, Hiruzen, well, he did a lot of stuff that people are not really a fan of in terms of what happened in Naruto and all that. And then there's the stuff with the conflict. I mean, Hiruzen decided to step down as Hokage, taking responsibility for it. So I I guess maybe some of his actions caused some problems. We don't know. But if Kagame was the Hokage, and then, well, if he's that great a person and that kind and generous of a person, I think a lot of things would have changed. Maybe there would have been conflicts. And also, the Leaf, I don't think the Leaf's strength would have deteriorated that much because, I mean, we know that the White Fang, what happened with him. And if Kagame was the Hokage, maybe that might not have happened. And I mean, he would have brought him up as a hero for what he did. And so the White Fang would still be around. In which case, instead of Minato, it would have been very likely at the end of Kagame's stint as the Hokage, the White Fang might have been the next Hokage. And he would have been the Hokage up until the point where Naruto and Sasuke and all team up and they form Team 7. And before that, during the Nine Tails attack, I think that would have happened, might have happened anyway, if there was conflicts going on. Hopefully there wouldn't have been conflicts, but if there was, and the same thing happened to Obito, if he attacked using the Nine Tails, I mean, at that point, then there would have been a lot of capable Hokage, the Hokage level Shinobi around. And there would have been Minato, obviously. Then there would have been the White Fang, and then Hiruzen, and Kagame. And with all those people together, I think they would have been able to stop the Nine Tails without Minato dying. Now, Kushina, what would have happened, I'm not sure, but yeah. In which case, by the time Naruto came into Team 7, the Leaf would have been a really powerful village with all these people around. Now, Orochimaru, I think he still would have left. But everyone else probably would have still been there, and that would have changed a lot for the story in terms of power of the Leaf. And yeah, I feel like that would have been really impactful to the story if something like that happened, but it's not what happened. But yeah, it's just something I thought about.